Hello, my name is David Reynolds, and I'm here to talk to you today about why the NBA should get rid of the one and done rule. So, what the one and done rule is, it means that a player has to be removed from high school for 1 year or at least 19 years old to be eligible for the NBA draft. This was introduced in 2005 by David Stern, who was then commissioner, by a collective bargaining agreement called Article X. This was because of the NBA agreeing with college basketball that so many of the top prospects aren't going to college and they're just skipping the NBA, skipping college to go directly to the draft. This was making college basketball, in their mind, lose money and not getting the revenue that they needed. Before this was put in, 84% of high school players drafted from 1995 to 2005 had NBA careers lasting at least 8 seasons. With this means that people, even though they were drafted out of high school or out of the college basketball program, were able to go on with good careers without an agreement being in place to force them to go to school. Now we're going to talk about the other options that are available for players that don't want to go to college. Recently there's been talks of LeVar Ball making his own basketball league, the JVA, and right now we have NBA teams connecting with G League teams, basically hiring those G League teams to form a minor league system almost like baseball has, but instead of it being 3 levels, it's just going to be a singular level. Also, we have the option of playing overseas. Playing overseas before going to the draft is seen as like, why are you doing this? What are you doing? But it could be a way for players to up their trade, up their draft stock, as well as show that they can play. So we're going to talk about now how draft stock and how well people could get drafted is affected by this. So we're going to start out with 2 stories. We have Harry Giles and Scala this year. Both were top-ranked prospects coming out of high school. This, with Harry Giles being the 1st overall and Scala this year being the 2nd overall prospect in high school at that point. So what this means is they had to do that 1 year of college, both of them in which did pretty badly. They didn't live up to expectations. They didn't do as much as they would have wanted to and what people believed they did. Because of this, in that year's NBA draft, they slid down very low first round, costing them millions. I'm going to go over what this year's draft compared to the 1st overall to the 30th overall made. But what it means, it could be upwards of $20 million that they're missing out on just because of that 1 year at school that their draft stock went down so much. So from this year's draft, somebody we're going to look at is Michael Porter Jr. He was taken with the 14th overall pick this year, but he was said to be the best talent. He's the best overall player in this draft. Injuries at college cost him what could be $17 million just in his rookie contract. So he was the 2nd overall player coming out of high school last year and was the 1st basically the entire year until somebody reclassified into his draft class. So, because he had to go to this 1 year of college, he ended up getting hurt 3 minutes into his first game. He only played 57 minutes of college basketball. With that, there isn't a big sample size. There isn't a big, basically, footage of what he can do. But he showed during high school that he should be one of those top picks, but because he had to go to college, he got injured. A good story of this is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, he was taken in the 2015-2016 draft, and it is said that he wildly did not go to classes, didn't take in part what college is supposed to give you, and because he was only going for that 1 year, it didn't matter to him. He was there for basketball and strictly for that purpose. A quote from an article reads, "Take Ben Simmons, for example. This rule required a year at LSU, even though many draft experts said NBA teams would pick him in the top 3 in 2015. Since Simmons knew his college experience would last just a year, he reportedly didn't attend classes. Even though he failed almost across the board, it didn't matter. Simmons was on academic probation his second semester, but was still eligible to play basketball. He dropped out of the classes the moment his basketball career at LSU ended. This is perfect. College basketball players who know they're going to be drafted in the lottery or know they're going to be drafted who are freshmen will not care about the classes they take. They're there for a year. They're taking freshman classes. You're not getting a degree in 1 year, especially if you're only there for basketball purposes. So going through everything, we have the one and done rule, which makes sure you're not eligible for the draft until you're 19 or 1 year removed from high school. This has been wildly scrutinized for the past 13 years that it has been in effect. Other sports do not use this. Why does the NBA? It was said that it's for revenue and to make the college experience, the college basketball scene more prevalent and better quality when all the guys are there for a year. It's not better quality if they're not developing. How draft stock is affected, we have the stories of Harry Giles and Scala this year. Other options, the G League, which is their form of minor league system, basically the overseas option, which isn't wildly accepted. And we also have the Michael Porter example, in which he basically missed out $17 million just because of college basketball.